So since Mr. Beast is getting exposed and all that's happening, I thought it was only right to actually go go and see what's going on with Chris. I thought it was gonna be right. So let's talk to me. What's going on? Like the whole
The
Mr.
Chris
Beast team might get
Tyson of the
exposed
Mr.
today.
Beast crew had a ton of evidence surface about
Talk
horrible
to me.
behavior
Talk
with
to
how
me.
they communicated with minors,
I hope Chandler and Carl ain't on this on that.
as well as
Man,
a
ain't doing
past
shit.
of really disgusting shit. A lot of people are calling the season 7 writers of 2024 internet drama lazy because they're reusing a similar plot line. A lot of people drew
Like
comparisons
they're using the similar plot line to what happened the year before that, the year before that year, and the year before that year, and maybe the last 10 years before that year.
the
Maybe.
Dr. Disrespect recently being outed for talking inappropriately to a minor.
I
There are
gotta watch
tons
that
of
video
screenshots
too.
to
I gotta watch
showcase
that video
exactly what
too.
was being said to someone who was between 13 and 14 years old at the time, and it's fucking gross. It's completely unacceptable. Some of them were just public tweets right under everyone's nose. So, Ava Tyson was an adult at this point. Lava.
And at this point, he was still Chris. She was still he. Which I don't know if that makes it worse. The fact that it's a dude who still had a child, or is it worse that it's now a female? No, because yeah, who has a child is doing this. I don't know
A
which is
child.
worse.
And saying things like, I posted some fire nudes for you, please no share. And then other shit like, but not $5, pathetic JK kissy face. They seem to communicate a lot, even sending
I get
snap.
weird snap from Chris. Coming for America. Wow. The camping trip. This is all in the way right here, but the camping trip. My family goes to North Carolina every year for vacation. We stay in a very nice camper at night, at a nice campground. It happens to be 2 hours away from the studio. Blah 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 blah. My parents drove me to the studio and met the entire crew. They knew where I was and met the crew before leaving. I helped record some videos and then blah 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 blah. At the studio with multiple people there. The tweet from the hentai addiction. The tweet about the hentai addiction. At the time, Chris was a very public anime fan. I'm personally am not. The friend group we had just randomly started saying he had a hentai addiction because it blah blah blah. The Coming for America picture was sent to a group chat I was in, and not to me personally. It's just a funny picture. I was never sent anything explicit or access to anything explicit. I'm not a victim of grooming, and if I was, I would have already came for it. I'm on the internet, blah blah blah. I'm not one of them. Please stop using my name to attack someone. There are real victims on a sexual assault and grooming and deserves to have their voice heard. By attacking me for not being a victim, imagine how it looks to the people with blah 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 blank. I was never groomed and never taken advantage of. It's still a weird picture, but you know, it's a funny thing when you're in a group with people. So who cares? But that hentai addiction, crazy. That's crazy. And who's lava though specifically?
That's
Cause
so.
2019, I watched those videos. I think I hit 2018. No, I hit 2016, 2017, 2016, 18. Like those are the videos I'm at right now on the journey. If I'm ever gonna start again, which I probably won't ever
Here's
do
one that
again.
says coming for America, and then goes on to talk about being in a group chat and everything. And I've seen a lot of
Yeah.
people try and cope and deflect, saying, like, oh, it's just edgy jokes, people are blowing this out of proportion. What a bunch of fucking nonsense. That's a load of hooey. That's dirty barnacles. That's
Wait, how
ridiculous.
old is the kid? And like he or she said it was in a group chat, and not to them personally, but at the same time, there's a kid. There's a kid not even above the age of consent, wherever they are, which may be 16 to 18, probably 18, normal, who isn't even, who's a minor. So it's kind of crazy when you think
Under no
about it.
circumstances should an adult be communicating with a child in any inappropriate manner whatsoever. Edgy jokes between an adult and a child are still fucking gross. It's not like the slam dunk defense that some people seem to think it is. Under no circumstances should an adult be in a group chat with a bunch of
On
children
God.
sending
Wait, but you, Whoa, that changes the perspective just a little bit more. You're saying that this is a group chat of little kids right now, or like, come on, don't say that. You gotta elaborate for me, please.
For America pictures. Like, that's still bad. That's still horrible. That's still really fucking weird. From what I can tell, most of the screenshots and a lot of the compiled evidence comes from this YouTuber, Prism42. This seems to be
A
where
month
most of
ago.
it started, and since this video dropped, there's been a lot more screenshots that have come out
Holy
with
shit.
all kinds of really bad things that were being said to or about minors. I've only shown a couple here, but there's quite a bit
A
more,
couple?
and they're
You
all
only
just
showed
as bad,
nothing.
if not worse. Like, for some reason, Ava Tyson had a habit of calling a 13 or 14-year-old daddy. Like, you can't just write that off as being, like, quirky, inappropriate, edgy jokes
What?
that people are blowing out of proportion. That's unacceptable. It's indefensible. Now, the 13, 14-year-old in question for a lot of these messages...
Should I be covering up his God slap? I don't think I should. I don't think I should be covering up his God slap. Y'all don't need to see his gamer subs. It's a vending machine, so y'all cool on that. Oh shit. Whoa, am I still going? Okay.
is someone that has come forward to give their own accounts of the situation, and according to them, they don't believe that they were groomed or anything bad was done on the part of Ava Tyson or anything like that. And I'll just go ahead and give my take on it here. I talked about it on stream, and I'm not trying to be some kind of armchair psychologist because I'm just, at the end of the day, a little reptile brain idiot. But I really do feel like in a situation like this, it's very difficult to process just how inappropriate or unacceptable something was when you lived it. I imagine that it's very difficult to view this as the person that you communicated to so closely for so long was actually evil or doing things that were wrong. But in reality, no child should have this kind of relationship with an adult where you're joking about sending nudes to a minor or making edgy jokes about coming for America. So while the person here might not feel like a victim, it really is completely unacceptable that Ava Tyson would be communicating with them like this. It really is, no matter how it's spun. Now, it is important to mention that right now, most of the evidence is screenshots, so I guess there is the chance that some could be faked, but some of them seem very hard to fake. Like, there's a video going through a Snapchat conversation with Ava. There's...
Of course, Dad. This is the best Snapchat I've ever seen. Haha. When it's your wedding, you can do what you want? Or what we want? The fuck does that mean? You can do whatever you want. The fuck? How old is this motherfucker?
So, confirmed things that were publicly tweeted from their account over the years, which I'll get to now. And it was also revealed that Ava Tyson had a history of being a Shadman enthusiast.
Who the fuck?
Since all of the tweets have been deleted, it makes it very difficult to find the times that they communicated with Shadman or talked about Shadman and the art.
Come, god damn, fuck. Who is Shadman? Fidget spinners to really throw in some extreme autism. Shad bass.
I find this from Mudahar's video, who went to the Wayback Machine and showcased this tweet. And Mudahar censored it because the character does not appear to be over the age of 18. For those of you that know
is it a anime character?
Censored it because the character does not appear to be over the age of 18. For those of you that know that name, that might have just triggered a Winter Soldier moment in your brain with your eyes rolling.
Bro, you got me beat, bro. You got me stomped to the ground. I'm being dead ass. Who is that?
Back of your skull, because it is so foul. Shadman was an artist who drew child porn.
Oh.
Now, when you hear that, a lot of people think that you're talking...
Okay. That had me think, okay.
Brain with your eyes rolling into the back of your skull, because it is so foul. Shadman was an artist who drew child porn. Now, when you hear that, a lot of people think that you're talking about lolly or lolly hentai type shit, which is characters that look like little girls but are actually 5,000-year-old vampires. Like, that's the meme. Fucking sipping from their Mountain Dew going, ugh, uncultured swine. You see, it's not actually a real child. This is a victimless crime. This may look like a 4-year-old girl, but you don't understand the lore. She's actually coming from a sophisticated line of goblin ogres, and she is over 400 years old. So it's completely legal, and you're weird for thinking that it's weird. But with Shadman, he wasn't drawing lolly. He was drawing real children sexually. So one of the most infamous cases was...
Whoa! You got to elaborate just a tad bit more. Fucking shit. Just a little bit more for my small peanut brain, please. What? Who?
He drew Keemstar's 8-year-old daughter.
Okay. Now you're not. Okay, now you got me reeled in. Okay, that's what I was thinking. I was going to ask, how is he choosing these people?
In a pornographic setting. That actual fucking lunatic drew porn.
That's fucking nasty. Chris Tyson, while there is a lot of transphobic bullshit that should be debunked, Chris Tyson was still a massive Shadman fan, even commenting art from him, which made a cameo in one of Mr. Beast's videos. She is not as clean as a lot of y'all would like her to be. Shadman's I was about to say, you're talking about fucking Chris. Chris Tyson supported cartoon CP artist Shadman that drew my daughter at age 8 in a sexual manner. This is a known fact. Privately, me and Chris Tyson even had a conversation about this roughly a month ago. As it still assess me, this is misinformation. This is a fact. This is not misinformation. This is a fact. This is just misinformation. There's no evidence she commissioned this piece. What the fuck?
An 8-year-old girl. That's not hearsay or anything. That is something that actually happened.
Like, it's like, it's actually happened. Oh, because you saw the actual picture. Absolutely, obvious.
Crazier. I talked about this on stream. A lot of people supported him publicly.
Whoa.
Like, a lot of people defended that. Back when Shadman dropped that revolting dog shit, there was a lot of people that were pumping their fists saying, "Go Shadman! It's Keemstar. Who cares? Doesn't matter. He deserves it anyway."
That's probably the only reason why they're trying to say it's okay, because it's Keemstar. And people don't like Keemstar because he's fucking a loser or cringe or whatever the hell they call him. I don't care for him, but that's probably that's the most absolutely illogical reason for why they think it's okay.
Shadman, do you take requests? Can you do this person's underage daughter next? He received applause for drawing child porn. Let that shit marinate for a moment.
That just shows you how many fucked up people there are in the world who are closeted pedophiles. That just shows
anyway,
you.
Ava Tyson has publicly tweeted about Lolly. And in particular, there are tweets of Ava Tyson talking either to or about Shadman. A lot of the tweets are gone now because the Twitter account has been nuked, but there are archives of a lot of them. And one thing that still persists, and one thing that a lot of people have been showing, is that Ava Tyson may have actually commissioned a piece from Shadman, or at the very least, purchased a piece from Shadman. There's a clip from a Mr. Beast video where there is Shadman art hanging on the wall.
Oh, wow. Ava, Chris claimed to own this Shadman art and have it hung up on their wall, which was proven true in the piece of delivery video back in the day. Oh, I've never seen this specific video. Yeah, this is a totally different video. Alright, damn. God.
Belonging to Ava Tyson. I censored the close-up of the art for obvious reasons, but this is something that is irrefutable. The only question about Ava Tyson and Shadman's connection is whether or not a piece was commissioned or purchased. But at the very least, a piece was owned by Ava Tyson. And I don't think there's any wiggle room to just explain this away as some kind of innocent whoops-a-daisy moment of being ignorant of what the art was. with Ava Tyson having publicly talked about content and art like that, and then also owning a Shadman piece, I don't think it's some kind of coincidence. Like, I don't
There's no such thing as coinky dinkies. It's fact.
think it was an accident and they didn't know Shadman drew child porn. I really don't. And then yet another disturbing video surfaced where they had
What?
actually made a video a long time ago that linked to revenge porn of Jeanette McCurdy.
What?
She sent pictures to her boyfriend, her now ex-boyfriend, and he leaked them out. And but the links in the description if you want to see them. I mean, I'm not endorsing people to go look at somebody else's private business, but I know that you know, people might want to see them. So they're
No, that's not something you publicly share back. Keep it in the vault, bro. What?
That's crazy. That's astonishing. Sharing revenge porn publicly and trying to spin it like, well, some people might want to see this. So,
Like, no, that's not just. It's just not how it's supposed to go or work. It's not.
for you degenerates, I posted the link in the description. If you want to check that out, but you'd be weird to do that, and I'm not endorsing it. That's unhinged, completely unhinged. So all of this started to hit the mainstream. More and more
Jesus, it
people
started
started sharing
surfacing.
screenshots as well as other chat logs, all kinds of things with a history of communicating inappropriately with or about minors. And in response, a couple hours ago, Ava Tyson did make a statement, and this is what was said. I would like to apologize for any of my past behavior or comments if it hurt or offended anyone. It was not my intent. Seeing recent events, we've mutually decided it's best I permanently step away from all things Mr. Beast and social media to focus on my family and mental health.
Oh, I really hate that fucking cop out plea. Okay, for some people, obviously, it's very, very true and worth it, and it means something to them. Like these gymnasts, Simone Biles and Chasso. Damn, I'm kind of mad that I don't remember how to say her name. That's very disrespectful. But that shit, I understand that completely, bro. That's some mental writing shit. What goes on with that shit? But bro, that cop out is so much bullshit. Focus on your family, obviously. Of course, mental health is important, but stop using it as a cop out because you got caught for doing some shit, bro.
That is kind of a textbook non-apology. It doesn't address anything. It doesn't talk about anything. It's just like this blanket boilerplate statement about stepping away. There's no denial of anything, no claims that some of the information is false, made up, fabricated, a lie, a fib, a bunch of malarkey, nothing at all.
Bunch of
You would really think that
crap.
if any of the information was wrong or faked, that would be one of the first things that Ava Tyson would want to set the record straight on. But that didn't happen. Even if it was something like needing more time,
Why? This is some weird shit. Cause why is it always this way? There's never a true apology ever. Of course, if you know you didn't do it, then you defend yourself. At the same time, people are still gonna say that you probably did it because you're defending yourself. But if you know deep in your heart, in your soul, God watching everybody who knows you for real, and you know you didn't do that shit, bro, apologize for it. I don't know. It's hard to explain the way I just did. Because if you didn't do it, you shouldn't apologize because you didn't do anything. But in situations like, damn, in situations like this, they're never. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore, bro. Because what? They always want to say I apologize for my. Like, no. What? God, no, I'm
that would have been
pissed.
expressed in the statement, saying, need more time to talk about all of these things that are incorrect. But again, that's not there. So they're assumed to be all correct at this point, and they're indefensible, the things that have come out here. As I was rendering this video, Ava Tyson dropped more
I want to add, I never groomed anyone. The person who gets brought up in these accusations, Lava GS, has vocally supported that they are false. Having said that, I humbly apologize to anyone I have hurt in my unacceptable social media posts, past actions, and to those who may feel betrayed by how I used to act online. To lump these two factors together to create a narrative that my behavior extended beyond bad, edgy jokes is disgusting and did not happen. In past years, I have learned that my old humor is unacceptable, and I cannot change who I was, but I can continue to work on myself. I don't want these accusations to impact the hundreds of people who work at Mr. Beast, which is why I have stepped away.
Claiming that no one was ever groomed, and then states that the victim vocally supported that that's false. I again already told you my feelings on that. I really don't think a child who has this kind of relationship with an adult would ever really recognize just how inappropriate it was, because it became so normalized to them, which it never should be. It's a horrible thing, and there really is no excusing it in my eyes. Going further, there's an apology about unacceptable social media posts, and then saying that it was edgy jokes and that it was unacceptable humor, that it's like a thing of the past and it's been misconstrued into things that didn't happen, and then not wanting the accusations to impact hundreds of people who work at Mr. Beast, which is why Ava Tyson
Which is funny
stepped
because
away.
that shit's going downhill. That shit's going off the rails. That shit's going in flames as we speak too.
I just don't think you can write off a lot of those social media posts as edgy jokes or edgy humor when you actually owned art from an artist who draws child porn. That's not a joke anymore. Haha, bought some child porn art. Like, that's not exactly side-splitting comedy. Like, I don't really think you could just go ahead and
Yeah, that's some weird nigga shit. That's some weird motherfucking shit.
wave that as being edgy and like old humor that you've grown from. And then some of the tweets about it and like requests, what's the joke? Like, what's the punchline of that? I really don't think you can just say, oh, it's just edgy jokes that are blown out of proportion. Sorry if people are offended by it. Like, that just doesn't really work to me. As of right now, there's been no response from Mr. Beast or anyone else on the team about all of this. So it remains to be seen whether or not Jimmy or anyone else on the team knew about these things or what's going on there. But as of me making this video, there's still no response yet. So this whole situation is obviously horrible. And there's a little bit more I want to talk about here, and it's something I didn't even think I'd ever need to talk about, but I guess we've reached this point in the internet where this is necessary. I've been being attacked on Twitter, just fucking dogpiled, about my ignoring the situation and refusing to speak on it, being too much of a coward to talk about all this.
That's crazy.
Which is crazy to me. And then people saying like, oh, where was the same energy for or where was the same energy that you had for Dr. Disrespect here? And it's crazy that I even have to talk about this.
That's crazy.
So, last night, during stream, this story was still breaking. Things were still coming out about this story. And I talked about it on stream last night. The same day, all of these pieces of evidence were surfacing. I talked about it immediately. Once I became aware of what the evidence was out there and what the claims were and what was going on, I was talking about it right away. And I even posted a video that is highly edited and short, nice and concise, about the whole bare bones of the situation and my thoughts on it for the second channel, so that way even if you have the biggest brain rot and can't focus on a video for long, you can still finish that whole video and see just how bad this whole Ava Tyson situation is. So I talked about it immediately, but Twitter didn't see that video, and the ones that did wrote it off as, oh, he's only going to put this on his second channel because he's afraid to put it on his main channel. He didn't do that for Dr.
That's some ridiculous shit, because when has Mr. Beat... When has Charlie White ever shied away from a challenge? Like, y'all know what this man has done, bro? The biggest dildo collection of all time? The conqueror of all hot sauce? The conqueror of all hot pep, like, what? Charlie White is scared? You're joking me, bro.
He was like that with Dr. Disrespect. You are provably wrong. All you had to do was activate a few fucking neurons in your noodle. Check my Dr. Disrespect video.
And your noodle.
I posted it at, I think it was 9 p.m. on June 22nd. June 22nd is when my Dr. Disrespect video went up. The allegation against Dr. Disrespect was on June 21st. So what happened is, that allegation came out. I talked about it on stream. Dr. Disrespect made a statement as well the same day that I talked about on stream. Then the following day, almost a full 24 hours later, I made the video talking about it. And in this situation, it is the exact same timeline. I was talking about it as everything was unfolding. I even had a video go up on the second channel going over everything that was coming out, and now I'm making the full video about it 24 hours later. It's the exact same speed and same energy
every day,
as the Dr. Disrespect situation. And the main person who started this lightning rod of accusations about me ducking it and refusing to address it is fucking Sneeko of all people.
Oh my god!
Voice Critical is not gonna go.
Oh my god! I thought they squashed this shit. Sneeko, you are fucking lame.
About the Chris situation because he wants to have the Mr. Beast collab. Bro, you're gonna talk about every other trending situation, Dr. Disrespect, Sneeko, anything that goes viral goes on your main channel. Chris, the associate of the biggest YouTube channel in the world, you do a 4-minute clip on your second channel. Stop coping and be a journalist if you're gonna be a journalist, or just say that you want to have the collab. Stop lying.
Jesus
Sneeko,
Christ, the fucking drool there is
talking.
gonna drive me insane. I need to go put on the fucking bathrobe here and give him PTSD or something.
Please.
What do you mean?
He fucking needs it at this point again.
4-minute clip because I did that so people like you who don't pay attention long enough could see my take on it and also get the bare bones information of what makes it so horrible. That's the reason it's a 4-minute clip on the second channel. It was never going to be the only video I made talking about it. I was always going to make a full breakdown of this because it's bad. It's a horrible situation. So yes, you're right. I do talk about like big trending bad shit like Dr. Disrespect or like Cody Ko most recently. I don't know
who that is.
why people thought I wouldn't talk about this.
I like how Sneeko added himself into the list, but then when it was Charlie's turn, he did it.
Cody Ko far more than I knew
Cody
Ava
Ko.
Tyson. I talked to Cody Ko at length one time on his podcast and then one other time in DMs. Ava Tyson, I met 1.5 times. I first met them after a poker game with Mr. Beast. They showed up right at the end, right before I left. And then at the most recent Mr. Beast video, also right when I got out, Ava Tyson showed up. And I talked to them
yeah, he was in that video. I totally forgot.
a couple of minutes. But I never knew Ava Tyson very well. Cody Ko I did. And I still wasn't afraid to talk about how awful his shit was. So I've never been someone to fucking shy away from a bad situation like this just because I know or am familiar with the person that it's about. So I don't know why people thought that that would be the case here. And also, for the millionth fucking time, I'm not a journalist. I'm like the Z-tier stupid journalist, like this actual layman fucking CTE-riddled idiot that reports on stories. And I talk about them, usually to make jokes about them. In rare cases, and recently it's been very common, there's serious stories that I am very passionate about delivering and talking about how shitty they are. So, like, in a situation like this, yeah, this isn't really a story that I joke a lot about because it is serious. When there is a victim who is a child here, that's something to take seriously. But I'm not a fucking journalist. Most of the shit I talk about is the most inconsequential mumbo-jumbo ever, like aliens and warp drives, or that recent story about how scientists discovered hippos can fly because they get airborne for a split second, literally like 1/2 of a frame.
That's
They're
crazy.
able to get all 4 little legs off the ground. And I talk about those stories and joke about them. It's just talking about shit to joke about it for the most part, except in cases like this, where it is a serious story that I talk about. Now, Sneeko, I hope you're ready for the cold water here, because I'm going to be brutally honest with you. When this story broke, I thought for sure, I would have actually bet money that you would have been some kind of contrarian talking about how this is actually not a big deal and everyone who's pretending to be outraged about it is actually just a hypocrite. Because you have been on this crusade for a while now about not agreeing with the age of consent. So I really thought you'd be talking about how, oh, this is just like Dr. Disrespect, who you ran hard defense for with this imaginary 17-year-old you cooked up in your head based off of one fake email from an anonymous source. And I thought you would be going that angle again, saying like, oh, well, that 13-year-old was probably very mature.
Age of consent should be maturity. It's not even 18 in most states. Why do you even believe that? It's because in Hollywood, it's 18, so that gets pushed everywhere. Most places, 16. And if you question that, then they call you a pedo. I believe the age of consent...
This nigga just said most places are 16. Holy shit, it is. So it is 16. 18 in Florida. Oh, yeah, that's crazy. 16 in fucking... in Ohio? What? I don't... Bro... Ever since all that shit with Sneeko started happening, bro. Oh my god, I never watched him ever. But why are so many niggas trying to become? Oh my god, it's so fucking annoying now. I hate watching it.
Pushed everywhere. Most
Like
places.
it's like YouTube, like this social media shit is really destroying shit.
And if you question that, then they call you a pedo. I believe the age of consent is the age of maturity. It should be called the age of marriage. Age of consent implies that you're going to have out of wedlock. I think it's better that people get married at 16, 17 than to have a bunch of premarital until they're 30 and they're washed up and then they get jaded and they're on birth control and they have dried up eggs. I think that's better for society. He's so pseudo-intellectual that he actually argues for things that defend pedophilia.
Like,
that's fucking ridiculous. And when challenged on this, it's even worse. So there's an older clip now, it's quite a few months old, where XQC and Destiny actually challenge him on this right to his face, and holy shit, it's bad.
You see how you want to answer the question? You see how he's going to yap and not answer the question? I'm going to ask the same thing when you're done. Go ahead.
I just answered the question. I just told you.
What was the age?
I just told you at a developed age.
Sneeko thinks you should be able to fuck 9-year-olds. That's what Sneeko thinks, and he won't answer that question honestly. Or he's going to have to give a different answer, in which case he's updated his morality. He's updated his views, and that's really uncomfortable for him. You don't have an answer to any of this shit, bro. Go back to fucking that fucking corner in London where you're getting roasted by year 1 debaters on fucking Christianity. This is retarded. I don't know what the fuck you're doing here.
What?
Okay, so you
Oh my.
leave the call. I wanted to go talk about this.
I don't want to leave the call. I like hanging out here. I've talked to a lot of pedophiles in the past, so.
Okay.
That sounds a little
Yeah, see,
crazy, but I
I'm
understand what you're saying.
What do you think the age of development is?
I just told you. It depends on where you are. It depends on the world. It depends on development.
At what stage do you think somebody's development? What stage of development? Because there's a lot of
It
stages
varies.
of development.
It varies. I don't
It varies.
think
It
there's
varies.
It varies on the age.
It varies on the age.
It depends on where you are. It
You
depends on
need
the
to have set ages for that. There are stages of development. As a child, an adolescent, and
You can hear him start to
Like,
snivel in the back.
what? He's just talking. He's just talking to stay relevant, bro. Even to the point of talking about pedophilia being okay. Just to stay relevant. That's insane to me.
Ground there as he's sucking up snot from his nose, getting cooked, and his brain is fucking overheating, malfunctioning, trying to formulate some kind of response to the easiest question in the world about what he thinks the age of consent should be. He keeps talking about the age of development and then can't even put a number on it. So everyone, please feel free to ask Sneeko what he thinks the age of consent should be if you want to see a human being fucking glitch out and malfunction like an
That's
Oblivion
insane.
NPC. Can't answer the most basic question in the world. That is concerning. You realize how deranged that makes you look, Sneeko? That makes you look like an actual danger to society, that you don't agree with the age of consent and try and argue around it. That's what every pedophile ever that Chris Hansen talked to would do. Like, you're a fucking weirdo. So for you, of all people, this fucking putrid vermin, this absolute slimy worm, to have the gall to say that I only care about the Mr. Beast collab, thus this whole story is just relegated to, you'd never use that word, that word's too big for you. This whole story is just put on his second channel, just relegated to, you'd never use that word's too big for you. This whole story is just put on his second channel where no one's going to see it because it's safer that way so he can keep the Mr. Beast collab alive. He's afraid, he's a coward for it. He has no problem abandoning his morals and defending blatant pedophilia, brushing it under the rug as long as it means it keeps the Mr. Beast collab alive.
It's funny how Sneeko is saying that, considering that he is the one doing that, so he can get that Mr. Beast collab, which you're never ever gonna get in your entire life. Did he? Shit, I can't even remember.
For you to make insinuations like that, and even claims like that, is fucking unhinged, considering you make actual pedophile defense arguments constantly, and you have publicly put on the clown makeup and worn white knight armor complete with the shield
Crazy.
to defend Dr. Disrespect when he himself publicly admitted to messaging a minor inappropriately.
What?
It's fucking insanity.
You know you're insane if the person you're defending admits it, but you have yet to fucking stop trying to defend it.
It makes me want to spit that I even have to talk about this, but it became such a huge, fiery issue on Twitter about me specifically
Crazy.
that I felt the
I mean,
need to
but
have
I
to...
understand, because at the same time, you are probably the biggest one that does this. Besides Sunny V2 and a couple other people that I can't necessarily remember. But yeah, you're one of the biggest people that do this. If not the biggest, honestly. You're able to amass 1 million in, say, 10 hours. Sometimes your videos even hit 10 in a day, maybe.
which should have been entirely
maybe,
focused
maybe
on
I say maybe because it's happened a couple times. I know it
everything
has.
Ava Tyson has done and why it is so shitty. But now I've had to dedicate a sizable chunk to talking about these claims against me, about how I'm not going to talk about it and was not going to talk about it until pressure from Twitter forced me to, even though I had talked about it as it was developing and even mentioned on stream I was going to make a video on it. So to bring it all back to what should actually be the focus, the Ava Tyson situation and how horrible it is, I believe that it is an unforgivable thing that has been done. Talking to minors inappropriately is horrible. And having this kind of continued relationship with a minor where you're sharing edgy and inappropriate jokes back and forth and being in group chats and voice chats with children and saying gross things around them is so weird that it is not okay under any situation. It's disgusting behavior. And publicly supporting an artist who draws child porn and even owning art from that artist and talking about art like that and the revenge porn, all of it is very fucking bad. It's horrible. I'm not pulling any punches here on my feelings around it. So, yes, I wanted to talk about this, and that's really about it. See ya.
That boy got drained from that shit. He got fucking completely drained. That's it. I love y'all.